Hey y'all, it's Burgess Taylor, or Journey with Burgess, depending on where you're at on social media. And I wanted to talk today and show you what I'm doing for those of you on Patreon. I'll be editing it for YouTube, but it will be time-lapsed. But I've been doing this on and off for the $15 tier. And what I decided to do, because I was talking to David about it, and I realized something when I was looking through this, and I wanted to add something into my regular journal. I have a new journal. I'm going to show y'all that, but I decided to kind of chronicle things a bit differently. So this book I've had for a good while. It's Watercolor with Me in the Forest by Dana Fox. She has a YouTube channel called Wonder Forest. And this is actually a watercolor with me book. What happens in the book is that it says, to everyone with a creative, colorful spirit and a sense of childlike imagination. And you have different projects. So you do wet on dry, then you do wet on wet, then you try painting fur, and then you do an ink wash. The way that this works is that you practice. She gives you directions, and she has these things drawn out for you, and then you're supposed to do them yourself, and based on her directions. She gives you colors and everything. So the first one that I did was this. Well, other than the swatching of watercolors. And I noticed when I did this, hers has very detailed. She has these cross sections, and I could go back in with a pen and do this, or I could go back in with the paintbrush now, but I want to see my progress. And I was looking at this after I was telling David about the caterpillar, which I'm in the process of uploading now for the $15 tier. But I noticed something in my work. Mine I did, but I didn't do all the detail. I didn't leave white space. You know, this was a few months ago when I did this. Since my hands have been hurt in pain and stuff, I've had to slow down. I've had to practice patience. And I feel like I'm actually being more present and mindful. I'm actually more in the moment. And I think if I were to do this again, I could get closer to the more detail. So this is the one that I just did. This is the caterpillar. And with this, you go in and you, at the end, once the yellow's dry, you go in with a black ink pen or ivory black paint, and you fill in the remaining areas beside the yellow spots to create the spotted stripes. And then you also go in and you can add, you add the leaves to the tree branches, and then you finish up the feet with black, adding little white highlights afterwards. And I went in and I did all this the little detail work. I'm not writing as much now. I mean, I am taking notes for certain things, and I am doing my planning and stuff, but this made me realize how much better my art is actually gotten, how much more in the moment, more detailed, how much more patience I've had. I'm chronicling that, and I think that's like, and it's so, I had an aha moment, and I wanted to share it with y'all. What I'm doing, I'm going to show you the new journal. I'm going to talk about why I'm going to be changing things up a little bit with this. So let me get back to the YouTube part. I guess I'll edit that. I'm really enjoying this. I'm going to do more of this with the $15 tier, where I actually do the watercolor with me. It's not very time-lapsed at all. Just enough so that it's not like 2 hours long. I might do a little bit more with it. I think this is a really good time to be doing this, to be back into the practice of doing this as a project, and with the nature journal class next month and me getting outside more. It's the weekend, and on the weekends we get the lawn done, we fill the bird bath, we put out bird seed. I need to weed where the roses are at, but I'm not sure that with my hands I'll be able to do a whole lot of it, but I'm going to try to get the bigger weeds out of it. So with this project, since I'm doing this for the $15 tier, what I wanted to do for the $7 tier and for YouTube is I'm doing some stuff in my journal. So let me take this out. This is a folio from Sojourner from Rowena. I ordered it from the buy sell trade group that from Rowena's that on Facebook, and for whatever reason this one doesn't have the little S, and I didn't realize that, but it doesn't. But I'm pretty sure it came with all the stuff. My new journal from Bree, and I needed a bit of a reset, a restart. When I was thinking about things, I did in the very beginning feel a little bit guilty because I have journals that aren't finished, and I was feeling a bit guilty about that. But at this time in my life, I really feel like I need a bit of a reset. I need to restart, recoup. Definitely refresh. The journal, it has a bit of a nature theme, and I had sent Bree some scrapbook paper and some botanical paper, handmade botanical paper and things like that, and so this is a mixture of, and I sent her some Tomaway River paper, 68 GSM. There's a mixture of 68 and 52 GSM paper in here, along with mixed media paper and some scrapbook paper. So Bree made the journal for me. I have my signature red thread, wax thread in there, and I wanted to chronicle this new start, and I used a poem by Sylvia Plath and one of my last stickers from Bree. I felt my lungs inflate with the onrush of scenery, air, mountains, trees, people. I thought, this is what it is to be happy. It's from the Bell Jar. And I started this the other day, and I set up the journal off camera. I needed some me time. I needed something that was just for me, and I wasn't quite sure of how I wanted to set it up. I may add a few stickers here and there as I go through. This is just a little note to self from the Coffee Monster Co. And I didn't write anything on there because it's a reminder, a note to myself that I can take time for just me to remember. And this is Coffee Monday. I love this. I followed along with Kateri Ewing and did her watercolor with me, where you do a feather, and then I stamped this that says inspires me, and then I talked about my why and then the how of what I've been doing and where I want to go, and why I'm doing what I'm doing, why the new journal, why the restart, the reset, how I plan on going about things differently. And I'm excited because my need for self-care and my creative practice, I'm combining quite a bit of things into this. This is definitely a creative practice journal. So I did some more journaling. This is a piece of the handmade botanical paper. It has little bits of leaves and flowers and things in it. And then I've been wanting to practice faces and skin tones and more curly hair. And then I did this. This was Thursday's page, and I did this. This was an advertisement in a magazine, and I did this. I messed up with the eyes a bit, but that's okay. Each time I do things, I get better. I think I did much better with the nose and the mouth this time. I think I did much better with the hair, and I just had some fun, and that's what it's really about. And then this was yesterday's page where I did the caterpillar. So I not only watercolored, she has things drawn out. So here's where we're going to do the trout, and she has the trout drawn out, and then you follow her directions. And this is watercolor paper, and So I did my caterpillar. Here's her caterpillar. And I had to stop to let things dry. Didn't use the heat gun. When I film where I'm at right now, this is my desk. It's for my live setup. Or when I'm filming the video in video, I do not have the access to the heat gun unless I stop and go over there and dry things. And I do that on occasion, but with this, I wanted to take my time, have some patience, and let things dry on their own. So I'll hit stop record, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'll hit record again, and I'll go back to finishing. Or I could, instead of hitting stop, I could continue to record and just kind of chat about things, which is something I may start doing. So the next one I'll be doing is the fern, and then after the fern we have a ladybug. So every time I do something with this, I'm going to be drawing my own version, drawing it myself in my journal. And this is where I wrote the caterpillar, and I wrote From Watercolor with Me in the Forest by Dana Fox. And then I drew some things that had to do with my day yesterday, the practice of self-care, things like that. So I'm going to be watercoloring this, and then this is today's page, and this is my own thing, and this is my own thing, but this, I did my own version of this from here, and I will mention that somewhere on the page. But I'm going to be doing, we cleaned out and refilled the bird bath. We keep seeing little bunny rabbits in the yard. The little bees are everywhere, but I did this because there are birds out everywhere, and I did another little bird. So I'm trying to get better with ink. She has, in here you do a light sketch of it, say in pencil, then you watercolor, and then you add the ink. So I'm doing this the opposite, where I'm drawing it with ink, and then I'm going in and watercoloring. And I'm trying to practice both, and I think that this in general is really helping, because I'm drawing things from reference, and then I'm drawing things. I did this without looking at our bird bath, and I could have done a much better job had I looked at the bird bath, but I want to do things from my own mind, from my imagination, from memory, and then do things where I'm looking at things in real life, do things where I'm looking at things like a picture or something from a book, and practice all different kinds of drawing and watercoloring. And I'm changing up how I journal. So this is, so we can be, this is Tomaway, this is 68 GSM Tomaway River paper. This piece right here is mixed media. So I have Tomaway River paper on this side and mixed media paper on this side. If you go through, we get back to Tomaway River paper, and then we have the botanical paper. We have some scrapbook paper, and this is where I've set up June, and I'm going to put a picture right here. Just haven't taken one because it's not quite June yet. And I'm going to be doing the Doodle Wash challenge for June. I looked at a bunch of different prompt challenges for June, and I like the Doodle Washes the best because it had a number of things. And then I put some little plants because it's my Nature Journal Month class. I'm taking the Nature Journaling class. And then this is the back side of the scrapbook paper with mixed media paper, some more scrapbook paper. Now what I will be doing on scrapbook paper, I will do little bits on watercolor paper or mixed media paper, or take a picture. I will be putting things on these scrapbook pages so that I kind of have a little tiny bit of a junk journal. This is a combination of all different kinds of things. So I have mixed media paper in here to sketch. I have scrapbook paper so that I can kind of do smash booky, junk journal-y kind of stuff, but I don't like paper that's not the same size. I have a junk journal. I made one, and I may get back to it eventually. But it does, for the most part, most of it is sort of B6 size, but not all of it. I figured I'd ease myself into some of this. So I can take pictures. I can do a watercolor on mixed media paper or Tomaway River paper or anything, and add a picture and add some elements, sort of smash booky, mixed media, junk journaling kind of thing. Then we have Tomaway River paper, botanical paper. more Tomaway River paper, mixed media paper, Tomaway River paper, the botanical paper. And I can take the botanical paper, and back here I put this on the back side of the botanical paper. So I can glue things to this handmade botanical paper. Or I can put, say, a leaf or a flower, put it on there, tape it on there. I use packing tape to do that kind of thing. I can put a picture and a leaf or a flower or whatever. I can do things on the botanical paper, or I can leave the botanical paper as is. You can write on it, but it is not easy, and you have to be careful because it's a little bit fragile. So we have scrapbook paper, Tomaway River paper, and botanical paper. Some more scrapbook paper. These are upside down. The music, sheet music, which is upside down. Botanical paper. Botanical paper. I love this botanical paper. The other side of the sheet music, scrapbook paper, Tomaway River paper. It's a mixture. Some scrapbook paper, and it's a good mixture. And then this is the back side and my postcard from Bree that she sent with the journal. So I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to leave the cover off for now. I'm going to go ahead and watercolor this, and I will have to time lapse a little bit. For those of you on Patreon, it will be just the minimum, but because I'm not using the heat gun, I have to let it dry, and it'll take a while to do this unless I use the heat gun. And I'm trying to get away from using the heat gun. I'm trying to let things dry naturally, and I'm going to go ahead and watercolor, and I'm going to try to talk a bit in sections while it dries. While I'm waiting for it to dry, I thought that would be a good idea to do that so I can time lapse. It will be more time lapsed for YouTube. I guess this is not like a preview, it's your version and then YouTube's version. So this is just an extra video for all of you that I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. And I know my content has not been quite on time, and I haven't been producing as much of what I normally do. Because of circumstances, but I am really excited about the direction that I'm headed, and I feel really good about what I'm doing. I have changed things up a bit. We're going to talk about that probably in Monday's coffee chat. With everything that's going on, with self-care being such a big thing, this is where I'm at right now. I need to put in some of the stuff, so this is where I'm at. I don't still need to do the Cultivate What Matter power sheets, and I have everything half ready, but I'm doing this. This is a big yard day, so our plans changed because this morning I was in a lot of pain, and David told me just to lay down and get some sleep, and I did. So part of this has got to be redone, but I'm going to be doing the planning in here and some time tracking. I'm going to go back to planning in the Hobonichi, because this is what I need to do for me. I have more space in the Hobonichi. It's more organized. This is where this is May's. I've already set up some of June's, and I set this up before I realized I was going to actually be using it, because this is more of our personal stuff. But I didn't, so I don't have the beachy theme on this one, but that's okay. So this is where we were at, because I put stuff in, and then I had done this, and I really didn't do much planning in this, but I've decided to do my planning here, so I'm going to be filming that. I may not film it, I may just do it, but I'm going to be setting up June and doing the big weekly stuff in here, and then I will show y'all, because in the Stology, the basic Stology that I'm using is the Omni Journal. That's going to be the rapid logging, the notes to myself, my ideas for the week and different things like that. More personal nature, like where I have the weekly spread, that will be more of the ideas and stuff like that. I really need to find my other ollie clip. That goes here. I really need to find my other ollie clip with the roses on it so I can put it anyway. Or like I get a red one or a burgundy one, a wine one, something. Anyway, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. I guess I pressed a little too hard right here. So you can see where this came from. This is a candle. And I got it on clearance at TJ Maxx, and it smells like white gardenias, but I love this. And this is my me time candle. Now, in the book, she said to paint the green first, but I think I'm going to paint the yellow first. And she said to use yellow ochre, and I don't have yellow ochre in this palette, so I have to use my yellow ochre in this palette. She has orange on, and this is blue in the candle. And while that's drying, I'm going to go back in, add a bit of burnt umber to my brown right here. Now I want to tie some of this together. Might do a little bit of background, like a little tiny bit of lavender somewhere around here. I know that's not part of what she did, but that's okay. I think I'm going to give her a yellowish orange coffee cup. Okay, so I have to let this dry, and then I will go back in and just darken things. But I wanted you to see what I'm doing. Get an idea. I can't write a whole lot, so I thought if I took the right hand side of the page and I made it a bigger thing, like what I did here and then what I've done here, you get an idea of what I'm doing. And I really like this. Now what I plan to do right here, I was watching something and she said you could take a bit of this gold mica, put it will give what you do that with some sheen. And I'm just gonna let that dry and go and make my branch a little bit darker once it dries, and it's gonna take a little while. I could try, let's see. I'm not all that excited about the candle, but it looks okay, and I guess I could go back in and fix it up a little if I want to, but the purpose of this is to do things and then I can go back and look at my progress. So maybe much later on in my journal I'll actually look at a candle and draw a candle, or I'll draw a candle from memory like I did this one, and then I'll see if what I'm doing actually is better than the last time. So I want to see how well I do, and I want to have some fun while doing it. What I decided after I had done the little bit of purple right here, I didn't like it. It looked too broken up. So I took a very, very, very light wash of blue and put it up on the top, and then darkened the purple on the bottom and brought it out just a little bit more right here so that it felt more cohesive to me. This is all about having fun. It's all about experimenting. It's all about doing things that resonate with me, that are outside of my comfort zone, that are inside of my comfort zone, that will help me improve my art. I am excited. Dana Fox has a watercolor with me in the ocean coming out in November. That is on my wish list. I think it's you have the option to pre-purchase. Yeah, that'll be, maybe I can get that for my birthday, and then it'll come in November. Or I have an anniversary in September, so maybe I'll get it in September, since it's not coming out until actually in November. But I'm really excited about the In the Ocean one. So hopefully by the time I get to that, by the time she has that out, I will have completed the book. I am enjoying this. I like that it's on watercolor paper. She gives you all kinds of things with the ink and wash and things like that. There are all these cute animals and plants and trees and feathers and flowers, and I'm excited. I had put this away for a while because other things came up, and now I'm excited to be back in it again, and I'm doing that for the $15 tier on Patreon. What I am hoping to do is every now and again do one of these where I time lapse what I did for Patreon, make it very, very fast, and then I do my journal one, and I'll put it all together, and it'll sort of be a sort of speed paint kind of thing, and we can look back at my improvement, or I can do flips and show you what I'm actually doing. So I'm waiting for this to finish drying, and then I'll be doing today's. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will see you again soon with another video. I am trying to put together the Cultivate What Matters. Sometimes I've noticed whenever I hesitate or procrastinate or just kind of put off doing a video about something, it means that I'm still kind of mulling things over, and maybe it's just not quite time to put that video up yet. I'm still working on that. the Cultivate What Matters. I'm still trying to figure out some of that with that. So maybe I'll get to that when I can get to that, instead of saying that, you know, but it will come soon enough. For now though, this coming week we'll be finishing the setup for my nature journal kit, and I will have that video for you the beginning of June. Patreon will probably get a in the process kind of video, how I'm setting it up. I also have some more things to do, some books I'm reading. I'm going to be doing a review of a couple of different things. My planning, I think I might do a plan with me pretty soon, so I can show you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because like I said, I've been changing things up. I will see you again. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed if you aren't already, and hit the little notification bell so you are notified when I have videos that come out. Thank you. Bye.